is another video. I've got so many thoughts swirling around my head and it's so completely overwhelming. I don't know if I'll post this video, but I'd just like to get my thoughts out. On the one hand, I am so incredibly grateful to my psychotherapist, who I've been seeing for several years now. It's the longest I've ever stuck with a therapist. She said you need to be in it for the long haul, and it's been about 4 or 5 years now. But if it wasn't for her, I never would have known that I was neurodivergent. And up until just, a week ago, I still didn't think I was, despite passing a test and everything. It's a bizarre situation to be referred because your professional therapist thinks that you might be autistic, then to do the questionnaires and have the pre-assessment and still not believe in it. And now I've had I'm not actually officially diagnosed yet. I'm on the waiting list to be fully assessed. But they made it very, very clear that because it's the NHS, they will only accept very severe cases with a high likelihood of being on the spectrum. So, I'm not an idiot. I have to really start to try and accept it now. But if it wasn't for her, then I would be still, living my life, going through my struggles, having breakdowns, struggling with life, not knowing that actually I was neurodivergent all along. So I've been trying to come to terms with it all, and I've been feeling angry that I've gotten to age 46. The irony is, I love cosplaying. I love it. I've always loved it, and it was sort of suppressed. My ex just wouldn't allow any of that sort of stuff. He wouldn't go to conventions, hates fancy dress, things like that. But I always wanted to try it. I always wanted to do it. I love stepping into characters. Hey, it's probably a neurodivergent trait, masking, isn't it? Stepping into another character, playing someone else. Where was I going with that? Yeah, he wouldn't allow it at all. So now I've spent my whole life, as I say, my thoughts are very scrambled at the moment. I'm struggling. I've spent my whole life not knowing, and therefore not known how to recognize when I needed help or what was happening to me, feeling like a freak and a weirdo, being misunderstood all the time and not having an explanation for that. When people say, oh, I'm neurodivergent, I'm autistic, everyone immediately always goes, oh, right, and gives you, just takes a step back from whatever situation you're in. Just remembered my train of thought. So I've been cosplaying now for about 10 years. 10 years actually, yes, 2013 when I started. February 2013, I remember it well. And I've actually gone to autistic awareness events and been, a very well-known characters from movies, and my child is autistic, is that all right? And it's like, yeah, sure, absolutely fine. And working with neurodiverse kids, not knowing that I myself neurodivergent. So I've been seeing neurodivergent kids, and I've been getting impressions about what it is to be neurodivergent. And I think I mentioned this before, but in my head it's ear defenders, it's got clickers, it's flapping arms, it's being non-verbal, or the conversation with an autistic person is not typical from what you'd expect from other kids. Like, they might be really, really knowledgeable about something, or they might ask slightly inappropriate questions and things like this. And all the meltdowns and struggles, like don't touch my child because they get upset and all this sort of stuff. So I formed a mental picture about what autism looks like, and I don't really apply to those things. So I've been analysing, like, how can I be autistic when I don't fit the profile? But the professionals reckon I do fit the profile. So what is my profile? What is my autistic profile? Well, let's see. My stepdad was physically abusive to my mum and me. Not the boys in the family, because he was a coward, of course. And I learned how to cope and live with a monster, a literal monster, growing up. I learned very quickly to hide how I was really feeling. When I get upset and I cry, I don't melt down and make a big show of it. They're like silent tears. They're silent tears, you wouldn't know I was crying unless you looked at my face. I've learned to do that, to hide how I was feeling. I didn't have the luxury of a meltdown, because I would have gotten pasted, and I did get pasted. So I didn't have the luxury that kids have today to scream and shout and demand. And if food was put in front of me and I didn't like it and I couldn't cope with it, and I remember sat at the table going from texture of food, because I've even denied it. Oh, I don't have food aversions. No, I don't, because I've had to mask my food aversions. When I was a kid, I would literally go like this, and when you're being brought up in the 80s and you've not got very much money because the state didn't provide for single mothers with large families, you didn't have a choice. You had to eat it, or else. Parents don't go off like that these days. It's like, oh, my child doesn't like it, and I might be really wrong and out of the ballpark, but all I can do is relate to my own upbringing. So I apologise if that's grossly offensive, because I know there's some really serious eating issues, but I'm talking about like my eating issues. I didn't like certain textures of food and stuff. I don't know, maybe my mum's food was crap or something, I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I didn't like what I was being given. I couldn't eat it. But I had no choice, because I would get pasted. Or, I'd have to sit there until it was my next meal. So I didn't have the luxury of having food aversions and being given something else, like crackers or whatever it was that I would have wanted. Instead, to this day, I have to bolt my food down like a starving dog. I bolt my food down even when I'm consciously trying to eat slowly. I can't do it, because it was eat the food or else. My upbringing is totally different to what children experience today. So trying to pull back all these layers, going back 40 years to try to, like, how was I when I was little? It's been quite traumatic, revisiting painful memories to find out where it started and what I was like then. I didn't know. People would laugh and say, oh, you're from a big family, because they're seeing me bolt down food. And I'm like, yeah, I'm from a big family. And like, so? Because apparently if you're from a big family, it's like, first to serve yourself. Like, no, that's not it. We all got a plate of food. We didn't serve ourselves. You got put your food in front of you, and if you didn't eat it, you're in seriously big trouble, because there's nothing else. And my mum's worked hard for it as a single mum to put it down in front of you. So it was like, well, I better get her eat it then. So I bolt it down. Yesterday, I was scrolling on Facebook Marketplace, and a post came up to give away. It said autistic chewies, and it sort of caught my eye. autistic chewies, and I thought, well, what's this? Because you see the little poppers and the fidget spinners. Never appealed to me, fidget spinner or anything. Had to go with one once and was like, yeah. But that caught my eye, and I opened the post and had a look at it, and it said autistic chewies for ADHD, for children, for autistic people that like to bite. And it hit me so hard, I ended up in tears crying about it. So I've had a lifelong shame of biting the inside of my mouth. I used to bite my nails right down to the bled. I used to get told off for doing that. Stop it, told off, smacked. And I'd stop doing that, shamed about it. So I couldn't do it because I was constantly getting told off about it. So I found something else to bite, the inside of my mouth. And I started doing that when I was very little. And actually I stopped biting my nails. And I've had this, no one's ever pulled me up on it. No one's ever said, oh, why are you biting your, why are you making that face, chewing the side of your face? No, because it's invisible. Like, people don't notice I'm doing it. Unless they're physically looking at me, they might notice I'm pulling funny faces, but no one's ever questioned it before. And I've never spoken of it because I'm so deeply ashamed about it. But for my whole life, I've always been terrified of it. Am I going to get cancer? The amount of, I call them mouth ulcers, but also known as canker sores. I've had so many. I've had like 20 in my mouth at one time at one point. And I thought it was just stress, PTSD. I googled it yesterday. Apparently it's an ADHD thing. It's part of being on the spectrum. It's like an obsessive compulsive biting, but it's a stim. I didn't realise it was a stim because, again, stimming, do you flapping your hands? There's a stereotypical autistic person, and the stim is usually flapping your hands or rocking back and forth. It's obvious, it's visible. It's visible. My stim is invisible. I'm so angry and upset because I've gone through my entire life with this problem, terrified. Every day has been like a battle. Don't bite your mouth, please don't bite your mouth, please don't bite your mouth, because it gets sore. Every day it's sore, and then the scabs form inside my mouth and I can't help, I have to bite it off again. And I have this battle with myself every single day, and it's been invisible. I finally broke down yesterday, and I told my husband about it, and he just sat there and listened. And I said, did you have any idea? And he went, no. We've been together nearly 9 years just gone. And we've lived together for all but 2 of those years. And he didn't know. He didn't know. He said, oh, no, you bite your mouth, but I didn't know it was every day. Thought it was just sometimes. Every day I bite my mouth raw. I bite it till it bleeds, until I get I've been to the doctors with so many infections where my mouth has become infected, and I've needed a course of antibiotics, where I've been in so much pain I couldn't eat or speak because I can't move my tongue. That's how bad my stim is. Flapping your arms doesn't hurt you. I mean, bang your head on the wall, that's really bad. That's an extreme one. But antibiotics, where I've got an actual infection in my mouth, that I'm just so upset. I am absolutely heartbroken that I've spent my whole life suffering in silence like this. And I've been going to autism awareness events to help other people, never knowing that I was also affected, not being able to reach out for help because the stereotypical person is not me. That's not me at all. So I'm coming to terms with it. I'm angry. I feel really, really, really let down by the system. The system doesn't recognise me. It's not, we're just not catered for. I've totally gone the wrong way. I've actually ordered these little stim chewy things, but you know what was embarrassing? It was humiliating actually. When I went onto Amazon to look at some, to get some, had a picture of a baby and a picture of like 3-year-olds with these things around their necks. They're like little, they look like little lightsabers. They've got little bumps on them and stuff. And I was really attracted to it. I thought, oh wow, that looks brilliant. Because I imagined chewing that instead of my mouth. You know, the bumps on it. So, I still don't know if I've come the right way. Yes, I think I have actually. So I'm going to have to end the video, but I've ordered the chewies and I'm going to have to wear them around my neck all the time. And husband said, well, you don't have to wear them all the time, do you? Because that might be a bit embarrassing. Like, yeah, it's going to be hella embarrassing. It's going to be horribly embarrassing having it around my neck because they're made for babies and children, because adults aren't thought about. We're not catered for. So I've got to wear these brightly coloured because I'm determined to not do it anymore. Where is it? Got a mouth guard here. I bought this in an attempt to stop my chewing my mouth. I'd have to wear it 24/7. I can't do that because you can't talk, you can't eat wearing it. It's like, you know, it looks ridiculous. And I just end up producing loads of saliva and I'm spitting all over. That's what I tried. There's nothing. So I'm going to try these necklaces and I'm going to give it a go, and I expect I'll have the piss taken out of me by strangers who think they're little dildos or something. Because that's not triggering, is it? Being sexually harassed. So, but I just don't want to do it anymore. I mean, you can't really tell on the video, but it's all bumpy and I've bitten it hard there in the corner. That's just normal for me every day. It's absolutely horrible. 46 years old. I should be grateful that I'm even getting this help now. I could have just ended, you know, gone through my whole life never knowing. I am so grateful for my therapist for suggesting it, and it took her 2 years to even convince me to make a referral. I've got so much more to share. I want to talk about, you know, music, dancing, because I just don't fit the profile, and yet I am. So I just hope other people, if I upload this, I hope other people can relate to it, because I want to find my people, because I don't fit the profile. Anyway, I am off foraging because that's my special interest, and I'm upset today. Been upset all week. I'm upset and I'm gonna go foraging because that cheers me up. And I'm doing it on my own, which I never go anywhere on my own ever. But because it's going to be in a field on my own, I'm not likely to bump into anyone, so I've decided to go for it. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. So thanks for watching, and I might do another video again. Thank you for tolerating my rant.